What is up, guys? Ian here from Co-Create Today, taking your mindset from a place of lack to a place of abundance. Today I have a little more controversial topic, and that is there one true God? I was raised Christian. I was raised as a Lutheran, and my theology and Christian background is very limited. Only because growing up, my best friend was I actually met him in church, and we actually went to the same school, and we came very, very close. And throughout my rest of my life, I really didn't pay attention to any Christian theology, and I honestly could care less, and that was just kind of how it is. But now after being out of it for quite a long time, it's interesting to look back at it and see how I can use my new perspectives and integrate that with old perspectives and through the Christian eye, I guess. So I'll tell a little more stories about what I do now, but many of us believe, especially Christians and certain religions, they believe that they have one true God, or their God is truer than all. And I can't disagree with them. I think that's totally fine, but it's how you see God that I'm worried about. It's not what. It's not the who. It's how. So yes, you can have your God, and you can have He and whatever give you all your power, but it's how you see God that really starts to play into growing yourself. So for me, my perception of God is through other people, and through life, and through space. Million massive God. I believe that every person behind their soul and behind their personality is God. And I feel like every single day we go out and we're experiencing the Godhead. And how that differs from other gods is, I don't see Him as like looking over me. Thou, God, seest you. He's just looking over. Just, better not be doing that. And that's not the case for me. It's more or less a very internal thing. It's how we live our day. It's how we think to ourselves. It's how we act towards others. And whether or not we're making positive influences on people or negative is how close or how far away we get from God. Now, I understand that people, they like this idea that someone's watching over them, so they better have good integrity. And I like that in a sense where it does make you think about what you're doing. But if you can go on with how you're living and have true passion and not be restricted by anything, you're able to really put in more time and energy into things through intentions. So instead of being very I'm not praying all the time, oh Lord, give me the strength to make me be able to speak and give me the power to influence others at a much efficient rate. Yes, I can do that, but it's a setting of the intentions that I'm more worried about. And that's kind of my philosophy. It's how your heart is. It's the intentions you set initially. And if you can live through and out those intentions, you're going to get kind of what you asked for. So, why do I kind of have this perception? Why do I see God as people, as the million massive gods, as how the flow of life works, and how me, distant from you, is godly? It's that space. Well, I believe in polarities. And that's basically the deepest fundamental root that I can tell you. I wouldn't know what God is if I wasn't human. So God has to live through me to even exist. Same with anything other in this whole universe. You wouldn't know what a woman is if you didn't have a man. You wouldn't know if you had a sunny day without a dark day. So this all goes back to Taoism, goes back to Zen Buddhism. And Zen Buddhism is really shining light on a 1,000 billion trillion views of Christian religion and theology. So I feel like I can go back and listen to Christian theology and it makes total sense, but I don't take it literal, because as the person that I am, nothing should be taken too literally, because the only thing that's stopping true manifestation is the idea of us being human. And our thoughts don't instantly materialize. They're not that literal. They go through a process. And that's kind of how I kind of exemplify things. I don't take things literal because there's no way they can instantly materialize. So why even worry about it? But I can take those thoughts and those concepts and I can find and look at it from a different lens, a different, deeper lens. For example, Moses parted the Red Sea. I'd like to think of that as maybe we're flowing down the river of life. And once we learn how to flow with the water, instead of resist it and try to swim back, we find that we have the water at our hands. It's completely energizing our motion, and it's energizing how we swift through the water. But if I veer to the right, I can start to control it. And if I can veer to the left, I do the same thing. So that would never been able to do that if I wasn't flowing with it. So I am the part, and the sea is my right and left. So I don't take this literal. I don't literally think Moses parted the Red Sea. That's a parable for you to learn and grow. So I think my perception is expanded to a point where I see things as a growing curve. I don't take them literal. I know that they're very strong, powerful lessons to be taught, but I don't get caught up on the details. And that's what I'm really grateful for, being that I've studied in different aspects of religion and spirituality. I'll never take things literal anymore, because there's no point in instantly materializing certain things. And if you can have that storytell mentality as a young child, we're able to really be able to get into it and maybe potentially feel what that story is trying to tell us. And I think that's kind of where I'm going to, is life is a feeling process. Life is not an intellectual process. It's a feeling process. It's an intuitive process. You don't have to think about it. You can't read enough books to be like intuitive. You have to let go, and it's a process of just being yourself and letting go of barriers to fully let your true, authentic identity arise. And I like to term the phrase transparency. Be a glass, not a cup. A transparent glass. So that you can see exactly what you're drinking. You can see exactly who you are. And once we kind of have that, people will start to have higher perceptions of us. They won't see us as negative, lost beings. We will be very translucent and we'll be able to reflect what is given. So that's kind of it, guys. I don't want to go too much into this. I know it's very controversial. You don't have to agree with anything that I say, but that doesn't mean that you can't grow from that. So hopefully you like this video. If you like these videos, go ahead and hit subscribe. Other than that, hope you guys have a beautiful day. I'll catch you later. Namaste.